I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission for a better life. Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. My name is Denise and I am a UK blogger, family and lifestyle at mum on a mission for a better life.co.uk. You know, if you forgot where I blog, then I've been doing it 7 odd years. So, welcome to my channel, like I said. Today, I would like to talk to you about tips for staying positive when we're in a worldwide time of stress and crisis at the moment. It can be really hard to keep positive during these sorts of events, but especially if you live with other people, as in partners or parents or children, especially children. If you can stay positive, then that has a knock-on effect to the people that are around you, and that will help them deal with what's going on as well. So it's really important, and especially for your own mental health, that you try and do things that are going to make you feel better about yourself and feel that there is still hope and things to look forward to, and don't let that deep dark depression cloud down on you and stop you from enjoying life, because we don't know how long this is going to be going on for. It's one of the worst things I think about this whole coronavirus is that the uncertainty of not knowing what's happening. So it is a trying time for us all. So I've got a few tips, and I think with tips with this sort of thing, because everyone's different, some things help some people, whereas they might not be any good at all for others. So you just have to listen to what I have to say. Let me know if you agree, or if you've got any tips that I've left out that you think need to be included, or just want to have a chat, then get on the comments and let me know. But bear in mind that it's not one size fits all, so even if it's just one thing that I'd say that you think, oh actually, yeah, I like the sound of that, then that would be worth you spending those few minutes watching me ramble on. So let me get started with my advice. Okay, so the first tip is to keep things in proportion, because it's very easy for us to, our minds run away with us. We overthink things, especially when you've got all this new time on your hand. If you're somebody who's normally out at work and you're having to work from home, or you're having to stay home to look after the kids that are all home at the moment, people are finding they've got more time for thinking, I guess. So you don't want to overthink things and blow things out of proportion. There's a lot of rumours going around, people are saying, oh, we're going to be locked down until next year and all this. We don't know that, so let's not worry about things that we don't even know are even true. If such a thing was to happen, then you deal with that as and when it unfolds. But don't be worried about things like that now that might not even affect you, because it might not even actually happen at all. And you don't want to end up getting yourself into a bit of a pity party, because you've got to realise and you've got to keep things in proportion and think to yourself, we're having to stay at home to keep ourselves safe. It does mean that financial security isn't what it would normally be, which is obviously a trying time for us. But we're at home, we're with our loved ones, we have internet access, well most people do, with TV with like hundreds of channels, we have mobile phones so we can phone people and keep in contact with them. We can FaceTime people on our mobile phones, so you can even see people to speak to them. So it's pretty much as if you're in the same room as them. We can have groceries delivered, or we're allowed to go and get some groceries. I think some people are acting a bit, in my opinion, some people are acting a bit silly and a bit selfish, because we need to remember how lucky we actually are. The last time this country had anything of this level of seriousness happen was in World War II. And in World War II, when they were told to stay home, they had no TVs or with Sky channels and Sky Q Plus or something, Sky Plus to record everything, or Devo if you're on Virgin. They didn't have the internet with tablets and be able to FaceTime people, play games. They didn't have all games consoles. They literally had nothing. They couldn't just phone up to go on the internet and order their shopping from Tesco's, and then a couple of days later it turns up and gets given to them by a man on the doorstep. They literally had nothing. They were rationed, and they had to go out in dangerous times to get their rations. And we need to keep some perspective and think that we are actually really lucky. I mean, I know obviously people are going to lose people, and I'm not saying they're lucky at all, because that's awful, but for the most of us that are just being asked to stay at home to make sure that we don't end up making ourselves or anyone else ill, we are lucky. We have a lot of things that will make our lives easier, make our time at home nicer, and we shouldn't say we're stuck at home. You need to change your thinking. You're at home with your loved ones. Enjoy that time. You probably won't ever get this time again. The time to just be with your family, because you can't go to work and you can't go out anywhere. We need to change our thinking. So try and keep a bit of a routine going. I know some people don't like routine, whereas I'm very routine orientated, but it is important, especially if you have kids at home, to try and keep a bit of structure, because if you don't keep some structure to your days, then you're going to end up getting, your body clock's going to be all over the place, and you're going to start losing motivation. You're not going to know what you're meant to be doing when, and anything that you were meant to be doing at home, it will get put off because you're like, oh well, I'll do it tomorrow, and you'll get yourself in a right muddle. So the best thing to do to keep yourself positive and to keep everything going well at home is to have some routine, whether that's a very structured routine, like I like to write my lists out every day and follow my lists, and I have sort of times in my head of how long things are going to last for. Or it might be that you're someone who doesn't like to have big lists, and you might just want to say, right, mornings we're going to do this sort of stuff, afternoons we're going to do this sort of stuff, evenings we're going to do this sort of stuff. So you just give yourself a very basic kind of plan of what you're going to do, but keeping that kind of structure and routine will help you to keep positive during this stressful time. So if you're actually really worried about something because of what's been going on, a good thing to do is to write down your worries and then look at what you can and can't control. So for example, some people have been worried about their children not getting to return to this current school year, especially the ones that will be moving on to a high school or actually leaving school altogether, because they'll miss out on saying goodbye to their friends. They might miss on a prom or some kind of party or certificates or whatever they're doing at their schools, and that's been it might not sound important to some of us, but to them it's really important. So it's really upsetting them. So a good thing to do would be to write that down. That's your worry, that's your concern, and then to think, well, you cannot control whether your child goes back to school or not this school year. That's out of your control. There's nothing you can do at all, because that's up to the government and the education department about when they're sending the children back to school. So what you need to think about is, what can you control? So what you could control is you could make yourself a plan of how you can get your desired wishes with using your control and influence that you have. So you might think, well, I will speak to teachers from the school and see if they are happy, or the PTA, for us to arrange an evening event at the school, should they not go back before the next school year, then they can still come back for this one night and have like a big gala or something, and get to say their goodbyes and have any dress up or do whatever it was that they were going to do, or perhaps you could Facebook, go on Facebook to contact other parents in the same year group as your child, and all get together and work out a way that you could do a party in a village hall, or you could all go out for the day to the park. This is once everything's back to normal, of course, so that the kids can say goodbye and what have you. So there are things that you can control, and your children don't then miss out, as much as possible. So I think that's a better way of trying to deal with the worries and concerns, rather than thinking about what you're missing out on and things that you can't control. Think about the things that you can control and make plans. Think gives you something positive to do, and gives you something positive to think about for when all of this has moved on. So yeah, I think that's a really positive way to try and deal with any worries or concerns that you might be having. Okay, make use of the time that you've got now to actually enjoy your time with your children or your time at home, and do things that maybe you've been wanting to do but never have the time to do them. For example, you might have been wanting to, fix something in the house, or decorate something in the house, or what have you, but you never seem to get time to do it. Well, use that time now. Think of it as a gift. You've been given this time, so you use it. Or you might be a working parent and often think to yourself, wish I had more time to spend with the kids and do more stuff with them. Well, you can now, so use that time and enjoy it and have fun together, and and sort of make the most of this time that we have. Another way that's really good to stay positive in times of stress is, obviously these times of stress do pass eventually. We don't know when that's going to happen as yet, but we do know that eventually it will pass, because everything does, everything moves on, it's inevitable. So how about keeping yourself positive by making plans of all the things you'd like to do once we're allowed back out again and things have gotten back to normal. That would give you something to do, something that you can research online, and it also makes you feel excited for when you get to go back out again, and you'll have everything planned and you'll just be able to, you'll be raring to go. You can budget things, have like a list. It doesn't have to all be expensive things. It might just be that you're dying to go to the park and kick the football around. Anything and everything that you really want to do and you're going to really look forward to doing. You can even plan yourself a holiday for next summer or something. You can do all sorts of things like that, and get the whole family involved as well. Especially if you've got children, they'd love to do something like that. And then, as and when things are back to our normal way of living, you could pull one out and have like a potluck, what we're going to do today type thing. So there's lots of ways that you can get yourself excited about the time to come, because it's not going to be doom and gloom forever, and it's really important to keep that in your mind. Another good thing is to make good use of the technology we have. So make sure you do still speak to people. Like I said, if you're not somebody who likes to speak on the phone, because I know I certainly do not like speaking on the phone, and I know that quite a few people have experienced the same thing, you can video call. And then it's just as the same as if you're actually in the same room as the person that you're speaking to, and it's just as if you've gone round each of us for a cup of coffee or something. So if you don't want to do the phone calling, because I don't know what it is, I'm fine video calling or face to face. It's that on the phone, when you can't see the expressions, I guess, of the person you're talking to, that it really sort of messes with my mind. But we've got the technology to video call, so make sure on video call with your friends and your family and keep in touch with people. And that daily interaction of seeing people and speaking to people will lift your spirits and make you feel a lot better. And also, there's a lot of things going on online. I've just been playing a game of bingo. One of the blog groups that I'm in, because I write my blog, they've been sponsored by a internet blog hosting site, 34SP, and they've said we'll give the prize money and to one of the ladies who works for them, and you can hold an online bingo. So it was free, and I get sent a bingo card which I print out, and then we go on Zoom and we can all see each other on the screen and have a little natter at the beginning, or I just kind of listen because I'm a bit shy, and then then the bingo numbers are called out and you mark them off, and then if you get your bingo you write it in the chat, and then they check your numbers and they're giving away prizes for a line, 2 lines in full house. And I know they're not the only ones doing this. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of quiz nights that have been done on like Instagram or Facebook or different things. So it's worth having a look about and finding things to do. So if you're somebody who likes to go to the pub for a game, for a quiz night each week or something. Find yourself one on the internet that you can do, and you're still going to be enjoying yourself. You can still pour yourself a beer if you like to have a beer, when you're doing your quiz. And like I had my fun tonight because I like bingo, so I got to do that. So there's a lot going on. It doesn't have to cost any money, and you're still getting that fun. You've still got something to look forward to, and you're still getting that social interaction as well. So as much as I love social media and the internet and technology, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it didn't exist, when you're looking after yourself, your mental health, and you're trying to keep positive, then sometimes you do need to limit yourself from that. So for example, if you're finding all the news stories to be a bit too much, because there's a lot of news constantly being thrown at us, and some of it's fake news on social media, that even, it just is there to scaremonger, to be fair. It might be best if you say to yourself, I'm not going to go near the news, I'm just going to keep away from it. You might have somebody who doesn't have any anxiety or anything, who you trust, that could just give you a little update each day of anything that you actually need to know. Tell them what it is that you want to know. You might not want to know the death numbers or things like that, because that might make you feel anxious or unwell. So be explicit to that person about what you are wanting to know, and I'm sure that they will be happy to help you. Any friends or family members in your life are not going to say, no, I'm not going to help you do that, are they? So just reach out for that help that you might need to limit yourself and make things better for you, because you want to keep yourself well. And another good thing for keeping ourselves well and positive is to have a break from using your screens and do something like colouring in for mindfulness, or meditation, yoga, just sit and read a book, something that's not got the screen in front of your face. You need to have that time to de-stress and clear your mind, and it helps you feel really positive if you can build that into your day every day. As we've got this time, another good way to keep positive is to do things that you're proud of, that you can say, oh, I'm proud I did that. And with us being at home and having this extra time, it's the perfect time for you to learn a new skill. So if you look on the internet, there's so much free stuff, even on YouTube. You might want to learn to play a new instrument, learn to speak a new language, learn to sew or draw or paint. There's so many different things you can learn to do from your own home by using the internet and the tutorials and websites. There's a lot of places are offering like a couple of months free on different things, because they know that obviously we all need to get ourselves keep ourselves occupied, and to think back and think, well, I've learned how to do that while I've been at home, and that's something I've always wanted to learn. It's going to make you feel really good about yourself, and it's also going to set a brilliant example to the people you live with, to your kids, to your parents and everyone around you, that we're not going to sit around feeling sorry for ourselves. We're going to do stuff to make ourselves feel better. Exercise is a brilliant way as well to lift that mood and keep yourself positive. Now, some of us don't like exercise that much. I personally am not a fan, but when you're feeling a bit low and you want to boost those endorphins and get yourself up and raring to go, there's nothing better than putting on some of your favourite music and having a good old dance around the kitchen. If you don't want people to see you, just lock the door, go to the loo or somewhere and do it if you want to be in privacy, but do it, because it will get your blood pumping, it's good for you, and it makes those endorphins flow and you feel great, and it's a brilliant way to start the day. So make yourself a playlist of songs that are going to make you want to dance, or make yourself a playlist of songs that will make you smile and feel happy, and then use those playlists, because music is such a good motivator and it can really lift that mood and make you feel really good. So that is my top tips for staying positive during this time that we are locked down, because obviously it does limit what we can and can't do. I hope that I've given you something to think about, maybe inspired you in some small way, or helped you, with one idea to make things feel a bit better for you, make things feel a bit more positive for you. If I helped you, if you enjoyed watching the video, then do give me a thumbs up, because that would be very kind of you. And if you really want to be my best friend, then you could subscribe too, and even follow me on social media. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching me. I normally do more chatty type vlogs and things, but I thought this would be a constructive way to help anyone that's been struggling a bit with their mood and their frame of mind. But as always, thanks for watching, guys.